What's up, fam, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing 10 tips for Forbidden Kingdom Music Festival. I've been going to Forbidden Kingdom Music Festival since it started in Boca Raton when it was at Sunset Cove Amphitheater, and it was a one-stage festival. Those are the days. It was pretty awesome. So stick around to the end. I'm going to give two more bonus tips for you as well. It'll be a great time, guys. Have a great festival. Also, before we get started, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of festival content, hiking content, travel content, but the main thing I enjoy is the podcast, so make sure to check that out as well. Now, let's dive into these tips. Tip number one for you guys is going to be dress for the Florida weather, particularly the heat. Now, the heat is something I'm going to touch on in a couple different tips here for various different reasons, and I'll get into those as you go throughout the video. But it is Florida in mid-May, guys. Festival used to be in June. They moved it up just a bit. Back in the day, it used to be in February, and they should probably move it back there. Just saying. But with that being said, guys, be prepared for the Florida heat. It's going to be very hot and humid. Think high 80s, probably 90s throughout the entire event. So that means dress light. Wear a hat for shade if you can. Bucket hats are great. I always wear those when I was going. A bandana is also great. You can also get that cooled off for yourself. Bring your pashmina to put it over you to keep shade a little bit. Just be ready for that hot, humid weather. Now, it is also technically a rain or shine event, as they say. So get ready for the rain. And definitely get ready for the rain because Florida, it always rains mid-afternoon. It's just known for those late afternoon thunder showers and rainstorms. And it's rained literally like 2 out of the last 3 years, every time, almost guaranteed. So bring a poncho, bring a rain jacket. Highly recommend some of those, guys. With that being said, there's other tips that I would recommend. Like if you could bring your extra pair of clothes or like extra socks, for instance, like, cause it just gets so hot and muggy. Like at the end of the night, you can just kind of like switch into some fresh socks and get rid of the other ones, I guess. That's a big tip for you there. So again, tip number one, guys, is just dress for the heat and be ready. And one more quick thing too, I almost forgot is last year they introduced this giant shade structure, which was great. It provides shade. You weren't as hot. However, it was so hot and muggy that the shade just became a giant sauna. So it was even hot in there. So guys, when I say prepare for the heat, prepare for the heat. Let's go to tip number two. Tip number two for you guys, and that is to expect extra expenses. That is something that's very cliche. I can say that about a lot of festivals, but with this one in particular, just expect a few extra things. And I'm going to go into what I mean by those. So first off is parking. Parking, if you're driving to the event, is probably around $20, although I've seen it as high as $40. There is parking around the event, and there's parking out on the street around it and across from it, which I'm going to dive into that in a whole nother tips. So that'll be coming up shortly. But then there's also like Uber expenses if you're Ubering to and from the festival. To the festival is not necessarily that expensive, but especially depending on where you're coming from, I should say. But Ubering home, no doubt you're going to spend about $100 split between you and however many friends can fit in that one Uber. I think we did it one night. It was like 110 plus tip your Uber drivers, just saying. But keep that in mind, talk extra money, you know? And then I would say expect to buy things at the festival, especially if you don't come prepared, you know, just things to keep you either warm if it gets really cold from the rain or just things to keep you cooled off while you're there because of the heat. So, you know, one year it was really hot. We bought fans and some extra pashminas to drape over us or that we could get wet, something of that nature. So just keep those things in mind because those are extra expenses you don't expect. I know water is free. They have water stations. However, they also have hydration drinks, and those might come in handy, especially as the night goes on or if you're there all day. So keep those in mind too, because those are probably upwards of $12 to $15, as you know. So things can get expensive. But that's tip number two for you guys. Tip number three, guys, and that is to plan for festival security and make sure you bring your ID, as well as look out for pickpocketers. I know it's a bit of a mouthful for that tip number three, but it's very important. So one, prepare for the festival security. They kind of search you hard. We've had that in the past. To keep in mind, guys, it is Florida. They have some, you know, wacky laws that they might not like, but they're there. They're there to protect you. They're there to make you safe at the end of the day. So they might go through your bag. They might not, especially if something happens on day one. They might really go through your bag and stuff on day two. So keep ready for that. Also, make sure you have your ID. This festival does require you to have your ID, actual valid ID. So make sure you bring that. Don't forget. And then two, hitting that pickpocketers thing, guys. There are a lot of pickpocketers that come to these events, especially the events that happen in Orlando. We see this with EDC Orlando every year. They get hundreds of phones, if not thousands, and then sometimes they recover only 100 to 200 phones. So just really keep that in mind, guys. Bring a fanny pack, bring a phone where attachment like a clutch loop or something of that nature. Just keep your phone on you. Beware of pickpocketers. They will steal your phone. They will try to steal your wallet. So make sure you have those locked up. Let's move on to the next one. All right, guys. Tip number 4 for the festival, and this is going to kind of play into tip number 5 as well, but this one is to arrive early and beat the traffic. Orlando, as you know, is very trafficy. If you don't know, there's a lot of traffic, and everything you kind of have to travel around to get there fast is probably a toll road. So keep this in mind. Ubers most likely won't take those toll roads, stuff of that nature. So we just plan on when you're trying to go, plan on when you're trying to see a set. You can get there early. You won't have to wait in the line, queues, and all of that stuff. I will tell you the box office is usually very long. That's how it was the past couple of years for ticket pickup and stuff. Sometimes they do that even off site, so make sure you check that out. But gates say it says it open at 2 p.m. I don't know if that's subject to change per year, but get there early if you can. Enjoy the most of your time and just prepare for long lines getting in and out of the festival. So just keep that in mind. Tip number 5 for you guys, and that is mainly to do with parking. As I mentioned about being there early in the last tip, it is important to get there early too. If you want to get a better parking spot up close or kind of near the exits, they're going to kind of fill into the back as you go. So the later you get there, the farther back you're going to be, which means you're actually going to leave even later, which I'll dive into a little bit more in a second. But if you're driving, one, be safe. Two, make sure you get there early and find parking. Now, this is this very important part is there is parking at the venue on the Central Florida Fairgrounds, as I mentioned earlier, and I think that's around $20. Now, I'll have a map up hopefully right here, and there'll be a parking across the street. Sorry, there's parking across the street. We've done that in the years past. It's usually like the same amount of pricing, 20, maybe $40, but sometimes it can also be a little bit cheaper. So keep that in mind. We were able to find free parking sometimes, but it's very rare, just to be honest with you. It just depends, on the off chance you get that, you could park somewhere, but highly doubt it. So just be careful with that too. But now with parking at the venue, as I was saying, one of the reasons why you might want to park across the street is to avoid the long lines when you're leaving. When you're leaving, they usually go from the front to the back, and it just takes a while. And I gotta be honest with you, we've parked in different parking lots. I could never tell you exactly which one we were in that got us out there sooner, but I can tell you that we did have one year where we were in the very back, and it took us almost an hour and a half of just sitting in our car to get out. And the reason for that is there's like only one road that all these lots fill into, and I think they just do one lot at a time. So keep that in mind when you're parking. Again, try to get there early, get a good spot, get your car situated, and then you can leave earlier too. Drive safe. Tip number 6 for you guys. This is a good one. Oh, I did not do this the first couple of years I was there, but as I went more and more, became more of a veteran raver, as they say, something I definitely started to take advantage of, which is bring in your fans or bring some form of a cooling device. Like I've mentioned, guys, the heat is crazy at this festival. It is Florida, the middle of summer, and it's humid as can be. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be hot. So bring things that you can cool. Bring a fan, either a clacking one, a hand fan, or one of the small remote ones if they let you bring it in. Bring one of the ones that shoots the water or mists it on you. That'd be fantastic. As I also mentioned, guys, cooling rags. If you can bring a little cooling rag or like a washcloth or something, I actually highly recommend you doing this because you can just take it to the water stations, fill it, and then just get it wet and put it on your face, put it under your bucket hat, put it under your hat, stuff of that nature. Really a game changer with keeping you cool. Or you can put them around your neck. That's also a great idea if you can. You can get ice for the drink, put ice on it, make it real super cold. Another tip with this, guys, don't hesitate to use your pashmina. I know pashminas are a big thing in the American festival world, and we love them. I actually have a lot too, but sometimes I don't want to get them dirty, but sometimes it's so good to just get them soaking wet. And again, put them around your neck, you can wrap them around, you can cool off really quick. So don't hesitate to use your pashminas. That's a little tip for you right there. Let's go on to the next one. All right, guys, tip number 7, and that is to explore the festival and the festival grounds. I always think this is a very important one for every festival you go to because they all have something different and very unique to offer. Now, each map changes throughout the year. I can tell you in the past, they didn't have a shaded stage. This year they do. Hopefully this year they do something different with it too. So I'm going to just kind of touch on some of the things they have, not necessarily exactly how the map is laid out, but let's start with the stages, guys. They have the Forbidden Stage and the Siberian Stage, which are the main 2 stages you're going to be at. Siberian Stage is at the amphitheater. Hopefully they put some shade up for you guys in the back or something. That would be sick if they do. But that's a great amphitheater stage. There's not really a bad spot wherever you go, to be honest. There's certain ways you can go up on the side. You can go up on the right side when facing the stage. You got to get more closer to the front. VIP, I believe, is on the left side, and there's a lake on the left side. So lots of different options. If you're at the top, you're going to kind of get a good view of the entire festival grounds behind you and of the Siberian Stage. Back to the Forbidden Stage, guys. As I said, that's the main stage. This past year, 2024, they did cover it, and I think it'll be covered again this year. Again, there's ways you can go in and out. You can go from the back, you can go up the right side when facing the stage again. When I was there, they used to have VIP on the left side. I'm sure they'll kind of do that again. We'll see. But other than that, they usually have shade structures in the back that you can sit under and catch the music and just chill and not get overheated. They have one of the like wise old men type of thing you can get pictures by. They have a throne somewhere you can get pictures by. They have some dragons up. They have a nice market and bazaar area to go look at things and buy things. Looks like this year they're going to be adding some more cool down stations throughout the festival that you can walk by and get misted on, or they're going to have guys up there with like power washers where they can spray you. So those are cool things to go check out, especially as the day gets hotter and hotter. You can really cool off with those. There's going to be the village stage, which is next to the lake, one of the cooler stages at Forbidden Kingdom, in my opinion, because of just the scenery around it. So go to the village stage, check it out. There'll be usually a big shade structure in the back too, which is nice. And it's close enough in comparison to the other stages that you can kind of just sit under it and still catch the music there. They've got the Mystic stage, which is going to be under the dome or under this shade structure that's there normally for the fairgrounds. I think they have some bigger fans on underneath there. Don't quote me on that, but it is shaded for sure. Last time they had a lot of D&B there, but that doesn't mean they're not going to have dubstep and rhythm artists there as well. Great stage to go check out. Lastly, I think they have this thing called the Dragon's Den. They kind of have changed this up every year I've gone into something new, and it's evolved more and more. Last year they had Frick Frack in there. They had a cool down area, but it was also just so hot because so many people were in it and there was no fans going. So just keep that in mind. But it is cool to go check out, especially at night. Other than that, I'm looking at things on the map as we're talking, and they have a castle too. I don't know about y'all, but I like the castle. It's a pretty cool thing. Kind of in the medieval stuff, ancient times. So go check out the castle. I believe you can go up in it. Used to. You can take photos on it and stuff of that nature. So go check that out too. Tip number 8, though, for you guys, before we get going, we have 2 more and 2 tips, bonus tips after, is to take advantage of the home base shuttles. If you're not Ubering and if you're not driving, this is a great option. And I believe you can buy a shuttle pass even if you're not going to and from home base. So you could park your car at home base. If you're not familiar with what a home base is, I'll briefly touch on it. But it's just a festival that goes on during the same time. It also happens during EDC. It takes place at a private resort. So you're there on the resort the whole time. They do open it up to the public at night. They usually have afters going on throughout the event. So if you can get on the shuttle or get a shuttle pass, and it takes you to and from the event throughout the whole day, throughout the night. We did it last year and we had to leave early because we wanted to support a friend who was playing at home base. And it was the easiest thing ever. We walked out of the festival. We walked 5 minutes to where the buses were. We got on the bus. We were there literally within 20 minutes. It was the easy peasy best way of things. So again, if you're trying not to Uber and you're trying not to drive and you also want to go to afters, it's a great way to do it. Check out home base. Check out the shuttles if the option's available. Tip number 9, guys. And as I've mentioned before, the heat is crazy. So please, this is an easy one. Stay hydrated. Have fun. Be safe. I don't need to talk too much on this, guys, but preempt your partying. Hydrate a couple days before. Build up that water and build up your hydration beforehand. Have a liquid IV. Bring a liquid IV in if you can. Those are always a great idea. You can sometimes put them in your hydration pack if they let you bring the packets in. So highly recommend doing those things, guys. They have free water stations. Take advantage of them. They might have Gatorades or electrolyte drinks. Take advantage of those. Just stay hydrated and be very cool. Again, guys, this is a very hot festival. I'm not going to hound you on it. Tip number 10, too, while I'm diving into this right now, is going to be just protect your health and your hearing. So it kind of builds into that health stuff. But they have a lot of bass, guys. It's a bass music festival. I love bass music. It's awesome. Dubstep is great. But protect your ears. We have some affiliates in the links. I'll put them in the below. But Eargasm's a great one. And then just wear earplugs. It's so much better. And you don't really miss much besides your ears being blown out. I used to not do it. Now I do. Highly recommend. All right, guys, as promised, I have 2 bonus tips for you. And bonus tip number 1 is to rent a locker. Guys, this is a game changer, especially as you get older, you're a veteran raver, you don't want to carry as much stuff. But renting a locker is a game changer. 1, as I mentioned earlier, you can bring some of those extra clothes that you might want to bring. You can put your poncho, you can put your raincoat, you can put all those things that you may not even need in the locker, as well as extra batteries and stuff of that nature for if your phone dies or something like that. So highly recommend spending the money, splitting it with some friends, and get it a locker because it is a game changer and it will save you time. And bonus tip number 2, guys, is where you're going to be staying if you're visiting or you're coming from out of town and you're not in the Orlando area. Now, If you can stay at home base, that is an absolute cheat code. They did it the one year. I don't know if they're going to be doing it every year for Forbidden Kingdom. They definitely do it for EDC Orlando, which we'll have a whole separate tips and tricks for in another video. But staying at home base is a cheat code. The room packages, you can put 4 people in a room and split it. You stay at the all-inclusive resort. You get pools. You can hang at the pool all day, even all night. They do have pool parties during the day. They have after parties during the day. And like I mentioned, guys, they have shuttles to and from the festival, which are just so clutch about having to not worry about driving or paying for parking or any of that nature, or worrying about Ubers or all that stuff. Yeah, you might have to wait in a line for the shuttle, but like that's the most you're going to do. So again, if you can, stay at home base. Now, if you can't stay at home base because they're not doing it, we do have some other options for you guys. Central Florida Fairgrounds is off of Colonial, and it is to the west side of Orlando. So Orlando is this big area. And when these festivals happen in Orlando, so many times I have friends that end up renting houses or apartments or Airbnbs that are down in the like Lake Buena Vista area down by Disney. And to be honest with you guys, those are so far away. So where I would recommend, if you guys can, Airbnb or hotel in downtown Orlando. It's literally so close. Like I promise you, it's very close. It's about at the end of the day, 15-minute, 20-minute drive. I'll put a map up here to show you in case I'm wrong, but it's really not that far and it's just to the east of it. Other areas I would tell you, the Universal Studios area, there's a lot of hotels in that area, obviously for the theme parks. However, you can still get a good deal and there's a lot of honestly competition there. So the hotels aren't usually too crazy in price. But you can get hotels there. And again, that's about a 15 to 25-minute drive, depending on traffic. We did that one year. We stayed there. We Ubered. And it was really easy going. It was not hard at all. We stayed at one of the DoubleTrees there. It was perfect. We had our own kitchen. We had a nice place. It was awesome. So those are 2 main areas I would recommend you guys stay. Then, of course, there's areas around there where you can get Airbnbs and stuff of that nature. But just look at the map. Look where the Central Florida Fairground is. Again, it's just to the west and off of Colonial. But again, lots of places to stay in Orlando. Just try not to be too far away. So you don't have to worry about those long, expensive Ubers or long drives back, which again, please drive safe. Well, guys, those are the 10 tips and the 2 bonus tips for Forbidden Kingdom Music Festival. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe to support the channel, guys. And once again, please go check out the podcast because that is the main thing I enjoy doing, but I do like doing these other videos for you guys as well. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great festival weekend and enjoy Forbidden Kingdom. Peace.